Saitama, the One Punch Man.
SCP-682, the SCP Foundation's How to Destroy Reptiles.
These two warriors may seem ridiculous, but their unassuming exteriors belie impossible strength.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Life is pain, brutal and short. The challenges we face during our brief sojourn on this tiny blue marble are what make us human. They light a fire in our soul. They make it all worth something. Without them, we are lost.
Yeah, it's a little early in the day for an existential crisis, but luckily I came prepared.
For this failed salaryman, all it took to get that fiery passion back was to save this butt-chin child from a crab monster in underwear. That was a sentence.
This man was Saitama, and he was going to be a superhero.
And so he trained, pushing his body beyond its limits and shattering the boundaries of humanity.
So hard, his frickin' hair fell out.
Saitama's strength grew exponentially day by day, with the goal of becoming the greatest hero who ever lived.
And much to his horror, that's exactly what he got.
All it took was one punch.
Damn it!
He became too strong. He became the one, the only, the infamous Caped Baldy.
But anyone who's cool knows him as One Punch Man, as in he can't help but beat almost every opponent he's faced in exactly one punch. One friggin' punch! And this is a universe with some pretty whacked out monsters, like a giant who's over 1/4 kilometer tall and can stomp city-sized craters into the earth.
Or an Esper who can effortlessly pull giant meteors from outer space.
Or a Monster King who shaved off a continent from the Earth's surface and lifted it into the stratosphere. And Saitama's never even broken so much as a sweat fighting any of them.
During their battle, that same Monster King absorbed this huge chunk of the Earth's core and fired it at Saitama,
who blocked it by squirt gunning some lava at it. The lava he was bathing in, naked. And then he punched him. Surprise.
Saitama's created after images just by hopping side to side, defeated a martial arts master with his butt, and survived the inhospitable vacuum of space after being kicked all the way to the moon and before jumping back to Earth in about 16 seconds. That's 8% the speed of light.
Kinda like the time he blocked attacks from this alien dude who stated to move near light speed or punch so fast his fist starts to blue shift. You know, that thing that happens when you approach the speed of light?
Saitama utilizes his absurdly superhuman strength and speed with techniques like his devastating normal punch. And if he wants to amp it up, the consecutive normal punches.
Are you kidding me? Those are his attack names? What kind of self-respecting anime protagonist is he?
Plain and simple, he's a satire of one. Instead of seeing his journey from the beginning and enjoying his struggle to the top, we join him when he's already there.
Basically, imagine if Goku went Super Saiyan in his fight against Jackie Chun. Kinda sucks all the drama out of it, doesn't it?
And that's the point. Far from the power fantasy the genre is known for, Saitama's life became an existential nightmare. Without suitable conflict, the struggle that had heretofore defined him became meaningless. His new reality was inescapably boring.
Which is really saying something when he can decimate mountains without even hitting them, or shatter asteroids that rank a 9 on the Torino scale. For those not in the Torino, that's equal to 1 trillion tons of TNT. This guy's training must have been insane.
That would be 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and a 10-kilometer run every single day. And that's it.
You've got to be shitting me.
It doesn't make sense because it's not allowed to make sense. To be fair though, to someone who isn't already a trained soldier or athlete, keeping that workout routine every day for years is pretty much impossible.
While 100 push-ups and sit-ups are technically doable, especially if you space them out, doing 100 squats and then running half a marathon every single day would absolutely destroy your legs.
Put simply, effective workouts involve shredding muscle fibers at the micro level, then allowing them time to repair themselves more durable than before. This repair process requires hydration, consuming protein and carbohydrates, and lots of sleep.
But Saitama's workout schedule doesn't give them time to repair, which means he was basically just ripping himself to shreds over and over and over. After a few days, he shouldn't even been able to move, but he just kept going.
There might be an explanation. Take the brilliant scientist Dr. Genus, whose half-century of research into evolution Saitama erased in, well, one punch. According to Genus's hypothesis, Saitama's training broke his limiter.
Basically, every living thing on Earth has a limit to their natural abilities. At some point, no matter how badass they are, they'll plateau. Wait a minute. Have I peaked? I gotta go to the gym!
Well, Saitama trained so hard, he literally defied the laws of nature and reality. He just breaks the logic of his world. He crushed the entire field of evolutionary biology in the palm of his hand.
And while he has stated that his strength did eventually stop growing, it's pretty clear he's never gotten close to showing it off in full.
Such as when he fought the godlike alien conqueror Lord Boros, and finally broke out his serious punch. A blow where he punches a little harder than normal.
And reflected Boros' collapsing star-roaring cannon. Now, you see, that's an attack name. An energy blast that was going to blow up the friggin' planet. That's over 50 zetatons of TNT. Like a quadrillion of the world's strongest nukes going off at once.
Despite his obvious and overwhelming power, Saitama's accomplishments were never officially recognized. As if no one in their right minds could believe a psych ward Charlie Brown could save the world.
Well, he doesn't seem to mind. Almost as if being removed from anything resembling conflict gave him a perspective on how tropey and contrived his world is. Only Saitama's the only one in on the joke, because who cares about how far up their own ass a supervillain is when you can just chill at home with your buds and play video games?
Maybe that was the real lesson all along. Not to value our lives based on our accomplishments, but on the time we spend living and enjoying life's simple pleasures.
I'll leave that to Saitama, and I can't think of anything more pleasurable than punching so hard my name becomes a byword for literally unbeatable. The dude is the undisputed king of broken anime characters, because until Saitama finds his equal, he's gonna end all his fights in one punch!
Secure, contain, protect. These words are the tenets and motto of the ever-enigmatic SCP Foundation. These guys are basically the Men in Black on steroids, a shadowy organization dedicated to tracking down and locking down anomalies and mysteries. They dedicate their being to safeguarding humanity, keeping any and all anomalies away from prying eyes. From the supernatural to the scientific and the friendly to the fatal, they'll do whatever they can to figure it out. They die in the dark, so you can live in the light. Though, frankly, sometimes these guys can be worse than the monsters. When we say every anomaly, we mean every anomaly, even ones that can benefit the world, or just innocent people who happen to be anomalous. That's not even mentioning the countless death row inmates they burn through testing these things. Make no mistake, though, for as cold as the Foundation can be, the world would be infinitely worse off without them. Yeah, a ton of their containment procedures are the only thing standing between reality and some eldritch nightmare that rolled in from hell. And when it comes to monstrosities that want nothing more than the destruction of all life, there might not be a better example than SCP number 682, aptly codenamed the Hard-to-Destroy Reptile. Oh, in case you were wondering, SCP stands for both Secure, Contain, Protect, their motto, but also Special Containment Procedures. Right, so in this case, SCP-682 means Special Containment Procedure number 682, which is designed to wrangle the aforementioned reptile. Well, wrangle is being generous. Truth is, if this thing ever wanted to escape, it totally could, and it often does. It just likes getting brought back in every now and then to soak in a nice acid bath. Wait, acid bath? Wiz, what even is this thing? I'm glad you asked. The origins of 682 are shrouded in mystery, but a few things are known. It's a massive, highly intelligent reptilian creature the size of an SUV that wants nothing more than the destruction of humanity. And unfortunately for humanity, it just won't die. Yeah, as if the acid bath wasn't enough to give that away already. But no, seriously, they've tried to kill this thing hundreds of times and nothing has worked. And that includes a whole host of supernatural options the Foundation has at their disposal, including SCP-6871, a ritual that would wipe the target from reality. Not just that, but undo their entire past. It'd be like they never existed. And it worked for a moment. It was only after a few seconds that 682 rematerialized and called the attempt pathetic. Yeah, and if that didn't cut it, you can imagine what else has failed. being torn to pieces, transmuted to metal, mind-controlled, overdosed with radiation, superheated, the list goes on. As if that's not bad enough, 682 adapts to resist anything used against it. Even if you manage to hurt it, it'll immediately heal and won't be hurt again that same way. 682 was once dropped into SCP-1437, which imposes death on anything that falls into it, and it survived. It survived death. Not only that, but it integrates things used against it into itself. It's reactive evolution. For example, if you try to hit it with intense radiation, it'll develop a radiation beam. If you try to mind control it, it'll develop its own mind control. Yes, even beyond its evolution, it's a physical tank. It can casually plow through reinforced steel, stone, you name it. It's been a thorn in the Foundation's side for years. So, where did this thing actually come from? That is a complicated question. Strap in. Oh boy. 682 in actuality is an aspect of a concept. You see, 682 is really a smaller part of a much larger metaphysical entity. Oh? Imagine a circle. This circle is the infosphere, the sum of everything that anything can ever possibly think of. Not as humans, but higher beings, supercomputers, that sort of stuff. The infosphere is a higher dimension, way beyond what puny mortals could hope to comprehend. Infinitely so, in fact. Not dimensions in the sense of universes, but spatial axes. Like, imagine you didn't have width, or length, or height. Now imagine missing an infinite number of those compared to the infosphere. Okay, now within the infosphere is a smaller circle called the noosphere, which is the sum of what humanity specifically can think of and perceive. Okay? Right, so, living in the infosphere is a massive entity known as 6820A, an infinitely spanning concept, the concept of life and death, the very abstract idea of what it means to be alive and what it means to be dead given a metaphysical form. Now a small part of 6820A sticks into the noosphere, meaning humanity can perceive that small part. That is 682. What? 682 is the physical universe presence that 6820A has in three-dimensional space. One of the manifestation of the other, the same, but also different. Think of it like a New Testament Holy Trinity sort of deal. Gotcha, I think? Make no mistake, the likelihood of 6820A actually troubling itself with the physical world is next to nothing. It's so far beyond the scope of reality, you'd really have to try to break reality to get attention. But if you do, then you better hope it's not in a bad mood, for it'd be able to do whatever it pleases with the physical world. So the big lizard is actually an avatar of an even bigger lizard? Yeah, sure. And while 682 can be physically interacted with no problem, you need some way of transcending spatial dimensions to confront 6820A itself. Wiz, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like we've lost the plot a bit. Was there ever a plot to begin with? The Foundation's got this thing that's history under lock and key. This may all be a decoy story, but if that's the decoy, what's the reality it's covering? Who knows? Maybe it's not a decoy, but you can count on the Foundation to secure 682, contain him, and protect you. Can't you?
That microphone only has so much gain. Move closer to it.
His throat's messed up, man. Look at it. He ain't talking. Disgusting.
手応えのありそうな怪人は久しぶりだ。
ジェノスもよく聞いとけ。
だが辛いぞ。お前ならすぐに俺を超えるだろう。トレーニングを始めたのは22の夏だった。あ、教えてやってもいい？